Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's going on, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today, where I slow everything down and put on that studio shine. Man, oh man. So I just had to do a video about this. You guys know where I stand on Destiny 2. I'm still in boycott mode. To Destiny, Xbox Destiny players get respect. But it looks like right now, man, been doing some digging into this. And I'm sure you guys have picked up on some of the stories and seen some other YouTubers speaking up on this. It just looks like Destiny 2 the plot just thickens deeper and deeper as you really dig into it and see, man, that Destiny 2 is going to have a lot more problems than just the boycotting of some, really concerned and feeling disrespected Xbox Destiny players. They got bigger problems on their hand, even a lot bigger. And those bigger problems stem in the fact that, will Destiny 2 be just as much of a mess, if not worse, than Destiny 1? Now, I'm going to go ahead and make the case for this and talk about the prospects of this. Now, these are factual things I'm going to point out that we already know so far, and it just seems to keep getting worse and worse as you really dig into it. So, man, of course, I'm going to link this in the description. This is from Kotaku, man, where the title of this is the messy true story behind making of Destiny. And I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description. And they pointed out, man, in no uncertain terms that we know Destiny 1 was a mess. And they point out one of the reasons why, man. I guess the lead guy who was writing a story, who's a Bungie veteran, who was writing a story on Destiny, man, they cut a lot of that guy's stuff, man. And this cut was basically called the super cut. Once they put that down, basically that is what gutted Destiny 1. And from there on, they went and stitched it together and basically just shipped the game out because of time deadlines. So when it came down to it, a lot of the story that we thought we was going to get, we didn't get. This is a big reason why. And basically from there on, they just went on trying to stitch the game together. And we just got fragments of a game as opposed to getting a full game. Now, that was already detrimental enough in so many different ways. Now, if you're a veteran Destiny player, you know what I'm talking about. We didn't really even get any good content until basically, years later. Because the first year was just a lack of content like a mug, man. I mean, you basically didn't really have nothing to do, but just run raids. And, that got played out real quick because you got tired of the glitches and got tired of you basically ain't getting nothing. Especially getting chatter white over and over and over again. So, I mean, and Destiny veterans know what I'm talking about. So it was one of those situations where we were getting content, the DLC. When the DLC did come out, it was lack thereof, like the Crota content that we got was just basically the raid. I mean, it came with a couple other little things, but I mean, it definitely wasn't worth what the price tag was. And in content wise, I mean, man, people like me, I did the story in just less than an hour. And by that time, it was like, okay, got to be getting yourself ready for the raid. And by the time you did the raid a couple of times, it was pretty much done. And we didn't really, and then House of Wolves came out. So, I mean, you guys are kind of getting my point. I mean, we got piecemeal stuff. And that was a problem in Destiny 1. And we didn't get things like, something cool like private matches until basically Destiny was over. So now fast forwarding over to Destiny 2, Now Destiny 2 looks like it's shaping up to be the same mess. So I got this in a story. If you read through the article, it talks about, and there was a interview that was done, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw up some stuff by Luke Smith, man, where he's basically saying, hey man, there's not gonna be any random rolls on weapons. So you think about what that's gonna do. No random rolls on weapons. Now, think about how much of a big part of Destiny that random rolls on weapons really were. I mean, there's guys that they spent hours upon hours, days, weeks, months trying to get the perfect roll, that perfect killer app for that god roll for their weapon, man. And that was a big part of the fun in Destiny. Well, Destiny 2, they're completely strapping that. Well, there ain't none of that, man. And what I don't think these guys get is how much of a huge impact that is, especially for guys who really like to grind for that best possible role. That's gone. You know what I mean? Who knows if that ever is going to be around. Things like dedicated servers that would have been great. Especially dealing with all that lag and all that craziness and shenanigans that happens in the Crucible, man. Would have been great to have dedicated servers. Well, you ain't getting that. Destiny 2. Things like 60 frames a second. We ain't getting that. We're finding out more and more and more that some reasons of why they're not taking more time to maybe do some of these things is because they're at a deadline. It looks like, man, they're more worried about their paychecks when it comes to their stocks. So then when it comes to actually making sure they have a full flushed out Destiny 2 that the fans are going to love. And that's the sad reality, man. That's another part of this that I'm going to dig into in just a minute. But if we really think about it, what's happening at this point is where we're seeing features that we would think should be a no-brainer in Destiny 2. Well, they're just missing in action. So dedicated service is one of them. 60 frames per second, which we should have thought any time. Of course, man, it should have been a thing. We would rather have a slightly lower resolution and have 60 frames than not have 60 frames. But it looks like we ain't getting that. 30 frames a second locked, which is, in my opinion, ridiculous. Things like how we customize our subclasses. There ain't going to be no more just tinkering with your subclasses. No, they don't think you're smart enough to be able to do that. Now you're limited to just a couple of options when it comes to your subclasses, when it comes to customizing your subclasses. There is no long skill trees where you can change your subclasses no more. That's gone. So you really got to think about it. What are we really getting? To me, it seems like they're now reversing roles. Destiny 2 or Destiny 1 had no story. It was basically just stitched together. It was this, and it was much of a grind for not much of a reward. And, especially in the first year, they got better and better little bit by little bit as more of the DLC came out. But let's just keep it real. They piecemealed the DLC and had us pay for it all the way. So they were taking us to the bank, each and every DLC of stuff that they really should have just had in the game in the first place. So that's how all of us got shammed on that. And here they are again, looking like they're setting us up yet again in Destiny 2, where we're going to get yet again an unfinished game. And that's why I want to talk about at the end of the day. This is what we're getting. An unfinished game that actually is worse than what we had in Destiny 1. We're not getting private matches. We don't get 60 frames per second. We don't even get random perks on our weapons anymore. What the hell? We don't even get to customize the skill trees on our subclasses anymore. Like, are you kidding me, man? Like, this is the type of stuff that, how is this Destiny 2 or is this, what is this? I'm really just baffled of how they're going to release this game like this. Now, of course, these are things that all Destiny players, I don't care what spectrum you're from, what console you're playing on, you need to be voicing your opinion and saying something, because this is the type of stuff that really, if you're going to play Destiny, nobody should be standing for, because this is a huge digression from what we've had in Destiny 1, and that's ridiculous. It looks like maybe they're going to be focusing more on story, but they're taking out all the other pivotal things that we care so much in Destiny. And those things are things that basically is the big part of what is the enriching experience about what we love Destiny, of why we love Destiny, which is chasing after loot that is going to be unique and different. And random rolls is a big part of that. You know, and also customizing your subclass is a big part of that. They should have expanded the skill tree in the subclasses and expanded the subclasses. I would wanted to see a whole nother class instead of, okay, we're getting the same 3 classes. We're getting the same 3 with, oh, okay, well, now their supers are a little different, a little bit more cooler and expansive than they were before. No, instead of that, why don't you throw in another class? Why don't you throw in a complete other new and interesting different subclasses and mix the game up and expand the skill trees of things that you can customize and do. This is what I thought we were going to get. And looks like, lo and behold, in the old Destiny fashion, they're going to come out with a game that is basically, yet again, not a full game, and then piecemeal it with DLC. As you can see, they're already trying to shove DLC down our throats with, you know, with the DLC that is added in there, and it looks like they're on the same model as what Destiny 1 is. And the sad reality is, if you wonder how could they do this, well, they can do this because they got a bunch of loyal sheepish fans that will just go along with it no matter what Destiny do. And that's the sad reality of what we're looking at. We're looking at just a Bungie that feels like, well, it doesn't matter what we do, people are going to buy our game. And that's why I think this boycott is so important, because, you know, this is how a company is going to treat you if you just basically bow down and just let them do whatever they want. If you let them run you over, they're just going to treat you like the whole you basically, from their standpoint, you are. That's what they see you as. That's, well, okay, we just gonna run you, we gonna pimp you any way we want to, because, hey, man, it ain't like you gonna say something. You just gonna do whatever we want. And that's where, for me, I gotta draw the line, man. It's like, yeah, of course, we're all gamers, man, and we're gonna get caught up in that gamer spirit. We all have it, you know. But the thing is, there gotta be some of us that say, nah, man, I ain't with that. I'm not gonna do it. Like, there always got to be some of us got to stand up and take it for the team, man. It's not an easy thing, because I'll tell you, with this news, before a lot of these things I found out, I was a little bit more like, well, I hope Bungie get their act together, because I would still like to play this game. But after hearing all this, I'm like, I don't even know if I feel that way anymore. I'm going to keep it real. I don't even know if I even feel that way. I feel like now it's like, I'm glad I'm boycotting, because I think this game is going to be shaping up to be a disaster. You know, and it's at the point where I was hoping it was going to be better. But now, after all this stuff coming out about it, that it's less than what Destiny 1 is, it's like, I don't really know, other than it's prettier, shinier graphics, what else is it going to really have? I mean, I don't understand. I'm at this point I'm just like, wait and see at this point. You know, even if they do come out and say, okay, well, yeah, it's going to be native 4K on the Xbox X, and it's going to be checkerboard 4K or something less than that on the PS4 Pro, which I already know it's going to be. And even if they come out and say that, and even if they do apologize, it's like, well, that's great. But now I'm looking at how good this game is going to actually be. Is this game going to even be worth my time at this point? So it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes up. Hopefully, a lot of this criticism, it changes things. I want you guys to go ahead and hit me up in the comment box and tell me what you think. These are my thoughts on it so far. I'm going to be doing some other videos on some more particular things, digging into some more details. Like I said, when it comes to Bungie stock options, their employees are incentivized to get this game done this year. So that's another thing, too, when it comes to their stock priorities, when it comes to, you know, so that's another thing I want to dig into on another video. But yeah, you guys hit me in the comment box, tell me what you think. Until then, man, this is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.